why I believe there's a creator is two principles. First one, if you lived by yourself, have you ever lived by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And you woke up in the morning and you left your bed a mess. When you came home, how would you find your bed?
Same way.
You'd find it a mess, unless you either had it made or a nice burglar broke in and stole your shit and was like, let me fix Danny's bed, because your bed will not make itself. Because order, you can't leave something out of order and expect to find it in order, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the first principle is that order can only come from order. We had to combine together as a collective to create a society, to create rules, to create laws. This doesn't just happen overnight. It was with purpose. It was with intention, right? We can't leave things randomly, just expect everything randomly to happen in our lives. We don't use that strategy in our own daily lives. If I just, wait around and something randomly might happen, for me to succeed or whatever the case may be. My second principle is very simple. If we take 10 numbers, Danny, and we number them 1 to 10, like lottery balls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to number 10. If I put them in a box and I blindfold you in a zero light environment where you cannot see into that box, if you shake that box up randomly, chaotically, and I tell you, Danny, I need you to pull out number 1, number 2, number 3, in a row, in order. This is basic statistics for those of you that don't know anything about math. 10 numbers randomly, without you looking, what are the odds you'd pull out 1, 2, 3 in a row?
What's it, like 1 in 100,000?
It's like, no, it's beyond that. It's actually, if I'm not mistaken, 1 in 26 million.
Oh, wow.
It's almost impossible.
26 million.
It's 10 times 10 times 10 to the 10th power.
Jesus Christ.
So where am I going with this? I'm with my family one time, and I wanted to kind of get at the adults. So I kind of used the children in a funny way, like to have fun and kind of inspire them to believe, in God. So I took a box. I did the experiment. I put the 10 balls in. I got $500 ready because I know no one's taking my money. And I don't gamble. I don't think gambling's good. I mean, have I played roulette in here and there? Yeah, but am I like a part of my life? No. I go to the family. I shake up the box. And I'm like, kids, we're going to play a game. You guys can't look in. You got to pull out 1 to 10 in a row. You pull out 1 to 10, you get $500. Now, kids don't know the mathematics. They think it's easy. They're all fighting each other. I want a chance. I want a chance. Like, I'm like, all right, you go first, Billy. And they would go in, for 3.5 hours. These kids, all like, I would say 20 little kids. The adults are watching me. Everyone's like, what the hell are you doing? For 3.5 hours, because they wouldn't give up. They see $500, they're going fucking crazy. It's like an Xbox, PlayStation. Like, they're all like, No one pulled out the number 1 first. Forget getting to the 1, 2. For the entire time I was doing this experiment, no one even pulled out the number 1 first. Forget getting 1 to 2. So like when I say it's like almost impossible to get to 10, no one even pulled out the 1 first for 3.5 fucking hours. So everyone gets disappointed. The children get mad. What was the point of this? You tricked us. You knew we couldn't do it. I said, here's the point. I said it to them, and I will say it to your audience. Open your bag. I'm going to give you not 10 balls. I'm going to give you 1,000,000 balls in order, and you tell me how. If that sun was not exactly where it is in spectrum to this earth, me and you wouldn't be having this conversation right now. If it was 1 inch closer to the earth, an inch could be 1,000,000 miles in space. It's nothing. Closer to this earth, we'd be dead. 1 inch further away, we'd be dead. It'd be too cold. The way the earth rotates on its axis, the seasons, the 7 layers of the atmosphere, all in order, brother. The ionosphere, the stratosphere, each with its own purpose. It's like a canopy that protects us, right? Gravity. 1 million living species on this planet, Danny, each with its own purpose. It's called the eco what? What's it called, Danny? An eco what?
Ecosystem?
That's fucking A, man. It's an ecosystem. If we wipe out enough bugs, what happens to us? What happens to us? Forget everything else. If we wipe out the insects, what happens?
I have no idea. What
We're
happens?
fucking dead, bro.
How?
There's no more food, no more cross-pollination. All the creatures that eat the bugs, they fucking die. And it's an ecosystem. It's in order whether you want to believe in it or not. Now, they want to say it all happened by accident. You wipe out enough of those creatures, we're dead. It's a system. You're breathing in oxygen and carbon dioxide. It's called a respiratory what?
System.
It's an order. Without you even thinking about it, you're breathing out a gas that would kill you, feeds the trees, they breathe out. It's a fucking system. It's a system. It's all in order, man. The North and South Pole reflect a majority of the sun, it reflects the sun's light back to space. I mean, I can go on for days and days about everything that is in order for you to be alive right now. You don't expect your bed to make itself by accident. How did all of this amazing, look at us, man, by accident? I don't think so, brother. You can see the design. You can see that there was purpose. You can see that this was designed for your existence. And that's why God's the most merciful, because even though the majority of us don't respect the Creator or even believe in the Creator anymore, I breathe because of His mercy. That's my second principle. Order can only come from an order. You explain to me how all these die. You can't get 10 balls out of a box in order. How did all of this come into order for you to exist? You really believe it was an accident? Right. Really? Really, you're that foolish? You don't expect anything by accident in your life.
Right.
You don't leave anything to chance in your life, yet you leave the question of death to chance. You don't investigate. You don't do your homework. You don't dig deep. You don't go into... Even if you learned nothing, just studying Islam or Christianity, you can understand 1/5 of the world. Learning about the Chinese, their culture. This is where we're failing as so many people we know nothing about. I can study Chinese history. Maybe not can understand how they think, why they are. They have more of a hive mentality than we could ever have. Because there's a pride.
Hive mentality?
Yeah, like the whole. Like as long as the country prevails, they have that patriotism deeply rooted in them from the times of the dynasties, man. But we don't study history. We don't care. And we also study history not looking at where are we getting the information from. Who gave me this information? Who's the author? Who was he? So this is my argument. I do believe that we were created. I do believe in an intelligent creator. I do believe it is your duty as a human being, regardless of what religion. If you're a Muslim, you should study Christianity. If you're a Christian, you should study Islam. If you're a Jew, you should study, and vice versa, because this is where you can see the commonality, how much we have in common. There is no reason to kill each other. Any of these incidents that happened throughout history were by leaders that were not following the doctrine of those faiths. An example of that, no offense to the Turks, the Ottoman Empire. They were a nationalist empire. They were not an Islamic empire, in my opinion. Now, they may have done things that made the Muslims feel cool, but we had no right to invade Christian countries, period. But then people will say, well, they were a Muslim empire. The crescent moon and star is not a symbol of Islam, yet you see it on every mosque. Some Muslims may consider that a desecration. So where did that come from? The Prophet Muhammad had no symbols. These are the things I tell people, where do you get your information from? Do you study? Do you do your homework? Do you research? Who are you to judge another way of life or a faith if you know nothing about your own? And this is where the majority of people are, in my opinion. They know nothing about their faith. That is why that clip went so viral, Danny. It shocked people. They couldn't believe it. They type in the Aramaic. You don't. How do you? If you didn't even. I'm not. And again, some people perceive it too. But like, if you didn't even know the language of Christ, you didn't even know the name of it. How can you even call yourself a Christian? If you're a Muslim and you can't say a couple words in Arabic, how are you a Muslim? When the religion came in that language, like these are what I'm talking about. And then you have people that want to talk about the faith. They know nothing about it. They're not qualified. So I'm kind of done with that segment there. So that's where I take a lot of my stance from. And there's a lot of overlap, man, especially towards the end of time. Christianity and Islam have a lot in common, man. Book of Revelation, Antichrist, a being that will come down to deceive the whole world that he is God and that God is not God, that to lead humanity astray.